Hi, and welcome back to your weekly announcements. We have another free vaccination clinic tomorrow at De La Viega, and this weekend marks the return of Galagaza, the festival put on by our friends and partners at Senderos. We also have a handful of important dates and reminders for you, and I'm Sam Rollins, by the way, Chief of Communications for Santa Cruz City Schools, with your weekly news. Remember, next Monday, we're hosting a webinar explaining our budget, our COVID resources, and our bonds. You can find more info on that at link number 1. And you can go and get info about Saturday's clinic, free to the entire community, at link number 2. That's going to be at De La Viega. There is still time to sign up for our summer school program this year, and you can do that at link number 3. And at link number 4, you'll see that there's still time to submit to our AAPI Heritage Month essay and art contest. My daughter is already planning out what she wants to do to commemorate local Filipino history, and as a graphic designer, I promise not to help her. Finally, this weekend, Senderos will be hosting their annual cultural celebration that has become a Santa Cruz staple. Now, you know that I am a wordy person. I've always been fascinated by words, and I overfill my sentences, my days, my mouth with them. I've just always loved how words are a living display of human history, the history of centuries, of millennia. Like how the word hygge, which I shared this winter from the Old Norse for to comfort, is the root of the English hug. We access that history all the time without knowing it. Every time we say hug, there is a through line drawn from the early days of language until now. Because words don't get reset, they just get layered with human history, always changing, but always showing where they started. Like how the word Alinta, the indigenous word for this part of the Monterey Bay, and anyone who knows, please tell me if I'm saying it right, which I shared earlier in the school year, we can open that window for a moment into a time before we as English or Spanish or contemporary language speakers can conceive it. And while there's another word whose overspilling history I want to share, Galagaza. It's the name of the huge annual festival put on by our friends and partners at Senderos to celebrate the culture, food, dress, dance, music of Oaxaca. But more than that, I love the word because while it is a Mexican word, it's not a Spanish word. Now, I'm probably naive, having grown up in Santa Cruz without knowing much about the living, thriving, indigenous languages of Mexico. But to me, there's nothing more interesting than things like this. See, English is this big mishmash of Latin and Norse and Germanic and Greek and so much more. But languages like Zapotec, which gives us Galagaza, feel more direct in their connection to history. And that deep history, the history of civilizations older than ours, is here in Santa Cruz. The history is here, the language is here, the people are here. Galagaza means a commitment of sharing and cooperation, and it's a huge party that all are invited to join, to learn, to enjoy, and to celebrate. It's virtual this year on Sunday, and the live stream link and more info about this celebration, its tradition, and footage of past events can be found at link number 5. Their tagline this year is Una historia a través del tiempo, a story through time. And as a guy who lives by his words, I couldn't have said it better myself. Check it out, Sunday at 11 a.m. Thanks, and have a great weekend.